next segment is actually our family time for this week. For those unfamiliar, family time is what we call our social emotional learning that I do in my classroom, that we share with our district, and that some other schools have picked up and done some things with. The name Family Time came from my students. A few years ago, I wanted to more formally address some social emotional learning, spend some time really diving into emotional intelligence. We didn't originally call it Family Time, but some of my students tend to call our little group in our classroom a family. And I like to have that feel as much as possible. This idea that we care about each other, even if we don't always agree, even if sometimes we get on each other's nerves. We're a family in the sense that I'm not giving up on you. And I want to create an environment that feels like how I felt growing up sitting around the dining room table with my brothers, laughing and joking, but also being able to have real, meaningful conversations. The same way I feel when I sit down to dinner with my kids now, and we can joke about things, but also talk about what's bothering them and how they feel. So Family Time was really a perfect name for it. Another student also suggested that we always keep track of the number, meaning we do typically about 36 lessons throughout the school year, a new topic each week, and we just keep track of them. So we've been formerly doing Family Time for the last 2 years, and that leads us to Family Time 73 to kick off this year. This Family Time is entitled Why? Why is a great place to start with anything, and it's a concept we'll circle back to again and again. It's really at the center of everything we do, or it should be. We should ask ourselves why. Why do we feel this way? Why do we do these things? Why do we want to pursue the things we feel we want to pursue? So that's where we're starting. And I've really got 3 questions that I want my students to answer this week. The first is, why do you matter? The second question is, why do you think we focus on social emotional learning? And the third question is, why are you here? I'll elaborate a little bit. The first question, why do you matter, is so important. And the heartbreaking thing is I typically start the school year with this question, and I will have some students who don't have an answer for me, who don't feel like they matter. And if we, as teachers, expect to positively impact the students in our classroom, we have to break down that barrier first. We have to help our students believe that they matter, that they're worthy of a sound education. And that's true to anyone who's watching this and to any of my students as we talk about this in class. You do matter. You are important. You are worthy of good things. And that's part of why we're doing this. But it's something that I need you to believe. It can't just come from me. So I want to hear, why do you matter? And I want you to be specific. Sometimes students will give me a pretty broad, generic answer. They say, well, I'm a person and all people matter. And that's true. And I agree with that. But I want to know why you matter. What is important about you? What is significant about you? And if you don't have anything yet, we're going to help you find. We're going to help you find those things that let you know you matter and you are important. The second thing, why do you think we focus on social emotional learning? Your answers can vary there. I can tell you from my perspective, social emotional learning is the most important form of learning. I believe emotional intelligence is the highest form of intelligence, and it applies to every aspect of your life. It'll help you achieve success in any endeavor, in academics, in athletics, extracurriculars, in your career, in your family, in your life. You will need emotional awareness and emotional intelligence. And if we can help you build strengths in that area of your life, and emotional intelligence is adaptable. It can change. It's not fixed. If we can work on that, we empower you to do whatever you want to do in your life. And that's really what I want to help you do. And that's part of the reason for me, if I go back to the first question and answer it myself, why do I matter? I think I matter because of the roles that I choose to fill, the roles that I find central to who I am. I consider myself a father first. That's an important role. I have 2 children who are young enough that they still rely on me for a lot of things, but even as they get older, I want to make sure that I'm impacting them in a positive way, that I'm giving them tools that they need. And that role ties in very closely with my role as an educator, as a teacher and a coach. I feel I matter that way because I'm entrusted with a lot of young people who I can have an impact on. And that's something that's not, I don't take that lightly. So I matter because of that. I think I also matter because of these other things that I like to do. Trying to find ways to empower people and improve people's lives, even if it's one person, 1%. Making one person's life even 1% better. Those things matter. And that's what I want all of you to understand, that you have that ability and that power to impact other people, and that matters. So we're talking about why we matter. Why do you think we're doing social emotional learning? And the last thing is, why are you here? And I don't mean that in a big sort of philosophical way of why do we exist or anything like that, but in the high school, my classes are elective that I teach. The middle school classes I teach are required, but my high school classes are electives. The coaching that I do, the sports that I coach, those are, of course, optional. I want to know why you're in my room, why you are in the activities that I get to coach and get to help with. I want to know, even the things with which I'm not involved, why do you do the extracurricular things that you do? Why do you take the classes you take? What are your ambitions? What are the things you're doing now to help set you up for your future? What are the things you do socially? Why do you do those things? I want to know, from your perspective, why you do the things that you do at this particular stage in life. That's a great question we should all be asking ourselves all the time. Why am I doing this? Is it setting up where I want to be? Am I doing it because it's an instant gratification? Am I doing it because it's helping lead me to a goal? Am I doing it because it's easy? Am I doing it because it's difficult and I want to learn and grow? That kind of all falls under that category, but I want you to spend some time thinking about that. Why are you here? Why are you in the spot you're in life right now? Because that'll help us determine where we want to go. And we're going to focus on that a lot this year. for me, I am where I am, back to why I matter, because I love being a father. I love being involved in my children's lives. I love being a teacher. I like the subject areas I teach. I love the students that I get to be around. I love the school in which I teach. I am where I want to be. And I want to make sure that all of you have an opportunity to be where you want to be in life. And that may be a difficult journey, but the social emotional learning that we do will help you get there. That's our family time for this week. We'll be talking about that in class. And as always, if anybody wants to communicate any of their thoughts and feelings and answer these questions as well, reach out. That's what we do in class. And we'll continue with our family time curriculum throughout the entire school year. Have a great one. Much love.